Nasada no adwabade a yɛn Fire or British Museum. If you Victoria and Albert Museum or London, and remember, I have real two for a good year soon. I had a two for Adarama. They have said, Mama, Yet, Mama,
artifacts and rich regalians, the creativity of Asantehene is brought back home to where it belongs. And as Professor Makaski, the professor with selfish interests. And today we are commemorating 150 years of the Second War. Professor Makaski and the wife, we are so proud of you. We thank you for your support, your assistance. We thank you for the help to the kingdom. Today we are reminiscing what happened 150 years ago.
Professor Asantehene, America, Odama, Sebeya, Wamudia, the Confornum.
Two for Charlie. We stand here on history's crossroad. 150 years ago to this day, the British military forces invaded Kumasi and almost destroyed the city. To further cause instability, they plotted a matricide, the murder of the heir apparent to the Asantehene Kofi Kakari. That is very much suppose. They took many treasures to the United Kingdom and sold them on the open market. And so individuals and organizations such as the British Museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum acquired some. With time, some of the objects got to the Americas, to as far as West Coast in California, and to the University of California in Los Angeles. For over a century, three of your predecessors called for the return of these objects. When he returned from exile in 1924, Prempeh I did so. His nephew, Prempeh II, in 1946, met with the leadership through the keeper of ethnography at the British Museum on this. A decision was even made that a £20,000 museum will be established in Kumasi. It was never done. Your brother Opokuwari II continued, and there was the famous exhibition, The Kingdom of Gold, in London and New York, of which the Yawini Nana Uchos Sebo was very instrumental. Last year, you met the leadership of the British Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum to reopen negotiations. You asked the British historian and expert on Ashanti, Malcolm MacLeod, and I to serve as technical advisors. You set out our terms of reference and operational parameters. For 9 months, we held many of the meetings in London. Finally, in November 2023, there was an agreement that 32 of the objects from the British Museum and Victoria and Albert will be sent to Kumasi. The trustees of these British museums made the historic announcement, and the world got to know of it. It is all about your evolving new cultural cooperation, as you made it clear at the historic May 2023 meeting in London. It was in the course of the negotiations that you said we should work and coordinate the restitution of objects that the Fowler Museum was to bring back. Since 7 of these were part of the 1844 looted objects, we worked with the museum's leadership and the advisor, Asantehene, who is a professor of ecology at the University of Tufts in the US. The leadership visited you in Kumasi and worked with the team. The ultimate effort is what we have today. For those who get confused, what we had today were part of the original looting of 1874. However, whilst we have these retained permanently, the British ones, which will get to Kumasi in April, that is 3 months from now, will be with us for at least 6 years. This is more comforting to say than to use the word low, which many people get angry about. These are then the elderly objects of your forebears, snappers of the civilization they shared with the world. They are tired objects, but they are also objects of misfortune. But they are home with you. They go back far. Before Asantehene was passing through Asantehene Kwekwe. As you told me recently, this same year also marks the death in Kumasi 200 years ago of your great ancestor Asantehene, who died in January 1824. The same year and the same month as his great English friend T. Bordich. As you reign into the second quarter of the 21st century, may your tribe increase among us, and may it also be well with you. At this point, I will ask Asantehene to introduce the leadership of the Fowler Museum and for his director to give some comments.
With us, I will be rough, Chairman, with you, Amato, 2-4. So about you say you may dinner or the say it's another room. I want to and so or the corn a pen or the corn and maybe introduce you in my phone Fowler Museum, University of California, Los Angeles. You declare the lecture here, Madame, Dr. Sylvia Foley. On the director of the Fowler Museum, Patron. Dr. Eric Jones. On that, Director, African Curator, African Arts, Fowler Museum. Dr. Rachel Reynolds, or no sooner, connections in the Fowler Museum. Professor, not just say, we buy, but not just now, we are director, also will be the Kakra, our
Your Majesty, Otufonanawe Tutudese, Chief and Queen Mothers. It is with great emotion that I stand here today to present to Your Majesty 7 historical artworks some of which were looted from the palace in 1874, and others that were part of the indemnity that the Asante were forced to pay to the British at the end of the Segreti War. The history of these objects has become evident to us through research that Dr. Erica Jones, here with me today, recently conducted on the collection that the Fowler Museum received from Sir Henry Wellcome 60 years ago. Once this information was clear, we knew that these objects needed to come back to Your Majesty and to the Asante people. This journey for us started over 2 years ago, and it would not have been possible without the fundamental contribution of Professor Asantehene from Tufts University, who guided us at every step and helped us bring this to your attention so that we could plan the proper way to return these works. I want to also acknowledge my colleague, Dr. Rachel Baker, for navigating the complicated shipping logistics at exceptional speed. We're also grateful to Mr. Ivor Ajamatwa for assisting with government diplomacy and quite literally clearing the road for us so that we could bring these pieces safely to Your Majesty on this day. These works are now here and forever returned to the Asante people. These pieces have had a long and troubled history, and they are witnesses to tragic moments in the history of the Asante Kingdom. They are also a testament of the long tradition of beauty, artistry, and craftsmanship that have made Asante art famous throughout the world. We are delighted to see them come back to the palace and to the descendants of their rightful owners. As we return these objects today, it is our hope that this will not be the end of the story, but the beginning of a new relationship. Museums love to shine light on beauty. At the Fowler Museum, we will no longer have these wonderful pieces on display. We are honored by your offer to have replicas made for us so that we will, however, have the opportunity to tell our visitors a better story in our gallery, one that does not glorify the violent history of the past, but foregrounds respect and highlights the contemporary importance and vitality of Asante culture. My colleagues and I are grateful to Your Majesty for allowing us to present this work to you on this 150th commemoration of the Segreti War, and look forward to collaborating with the Palace Museum in the years to come. Thank you.
Eslomo.
One 10 years for the video.